Now we got us a stack of rings all glued up. Our next step is going to be to sand the surfaces smooth. And I'm going to use this drum sander for that. There's other ways that you can do it if you don't have a drum sander. But I struggled long and hard about buying this drum sander, and actually I'm glad I did. It takes a lot of time and effort out of it. But what I'm going to do, I like to do 3 at a time, so I can feed them in 3 at a time very easy. And what we'll do is I got the vacuum hooked up to it, because if you don't have a vacuum hooked up to one of these things, you're going to make a mess real quick. I want to take these down to 5/8. We've got a little gauge on the side of our drum sander here that'll help us get it. I'm going to leave them just a little bit thicker than 5/8, so that after I mount them on the lathe and glue them up, then I can face them all smooth, and I'll be at my 5/8 thickness. So this is really pretty cool. It's pretty effortless on my part, so not a lot to deal with. So turn the vacuum on, turn the drum on, set up belt speed. Just feed them in. Take real light cuts. You don't want to try to take too much material off at one time. That can result in burning. And we want to avoid that all possible. So we're good and smooth now on this one side. What I'll do is I'll flip them over. Move up the opposite side. Okay, we're close to where we want to be. Give it about a 1/4 of a turn. Take one more pass. We'll have these 3 rings sanded. And they're all sanded smooth on both sides. We got a good smooth finish. No gaps. We got some really nice rings here. Our next step, we'll move over and we'll start gluing these up over on the lathe. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to mount the base plate to our waste block. Now I've turned a waste block here out of MDF. I've glued 3 pieces of MDF together, and I've faced this off and cut a little recess in it right here so that we've got a good glue surface here, but when we get ready to part it off, we can just part it off pretty easily. So what I'm going to do is apply just a good coat of glue all the way around this ring. One thing I like to make sure of is when we attach it to the lathe that it's not coming off, and this works really well. You could use hot glue, I suppose. I've never really tried it. We'll just screw this on here. Now our lamp base has got a small indentation here in it where we used a compass to find the center. So I'm going to key off of that, and I'm just going to apply it right up here with our little one-way revolving center, and we'll just add a little pressure to it there, and we've got a good squeeze out all the way around, so we've got good glue contact. That's what we're looking for, is good glue contact. So we need to let this set for several hours before we do any turning. Actually, I like to let it set overnight. We'll just wipe any excess glue that we've got all on here, wipe it off, and we'll let it set for, probably let it set overnight, and then we'll be ready at that point to begin gluing our segmented rings to the base. So we'll let this sit and we'll come back. And we're about ready to glue our ring on. We're going to glue number 15 on here, which is first ring that we need to glue. Before we do that though, we need to face this off and make sure it's in good shape. So it's pretty flat right now. But what I like to do is I just like to take, got a 2x4 here. It's got a piece of sandpaper, 80 grit sandpaper attached to it, and I'll just place this on here, and we'll make sure that we got a good flat surface to glue to. It's really important to have a good flat surface, eliminate any gaps that you might have. Probably pretty good. I'll take a straight edge, place a straight edge on there, make sure that I don't have any gaps, and it's really good. It's good and flat all the way across. So we can go ahead and glue our first ring on. I always like to place something under here to catch any squeeze out that I might have, because we're going to squeeze out a little bit. I like to do my glue ups on the lathe because it helps me center them very well. You don't have to. You can do them other ways, but it's the way I like to do it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use this one-way center with this little cone center on it right here. We're just going to place it in there, something like that. We'll move it up and we'll glue it in place. So before we do that, we've got to put some glue on here. So put a little dab of glue on. I normally do this over at the table, but do it here at the lathe today. And we just spread it out. I take a little brush and just spread it out. I'd rather use too much than not enough. We're going to have squeeze out galore on this one. That's okay. We're going to have a good firm glue surface here. There we go. We're getting there. We got a lot of glue. Probably a little too much, but again, I'd rather have too much is not enough. So, and the next step is just to simply put it in the cone, slide it up. You can see it squeezing out there. At least I hope you can. And then we'll just tighten it up till we got good firm pressure on it. We don't have to have a lot. What you have to remember is when we glued these together here, these are end grain. They're rather weak. Once you glue this end grain, or once you glue the long grain to the piece here, it's much stronger. But if you don't want to press it too hard, because you don't want it to pop open on you or anything like that. So all we have to do now is just wipe off the excess. And let it sit for a while. I like to let them sit at least 2 hours or longer before I come back to glue the next piece on, because we are going to have to turn it before we put the next piece on, so we can face off this one here and make sure this one is good and flat. But that's what it is. That's what it looks like. So We'll come back probably. I'm probably going to glue a couple of more rings on, and then we'll come back and we'll actually do a little turning. We'll glue about 3 rings on. We'll turn a little bit of the inside, and we'll just step it up through there. And it's a lot easier for me to turn the inside of these things if I do it a little at a time. So we'll be back.